Speaking Part 3 Competitions. 1. Why do you think some school teachers use competitions as class activities? I think teachers use competitions to motivate the children in their classes. I'm sure that teachers try all kinds of activities to engage their pupils, and competitions might be one of the best ways to keep children interested or get them excited. Children love winning things. 2. Is it a good thing to give prizes to children who do well at school? Why? It might be a good idea to encourage children to do well in games or sports, but I don't think we should give children prizes for their academic work. Children need to learn that the reason for studying is to learn useful things that will help them in their lives. I don't like the idea of children thinking that they will only work hard if there is a prize. 3. Would you say that schools for young children have become more or less competitive since you were that age? Why? I'd say that they have become more competitive since I was young. Children now have to take exams from a much younger age, so I think there is more of a focus on doing well in tests. Parents also seem to be getting more competitive. I think that many parents push their children to do extra homework rather than letting them play with friends. Speaking Part 3 Reading. 1. Are there any occasions when reading at speed is a useful skill? Personally, if I'm reading something interesting, I don't like reading too quickly because I feel that I don't properly absorb the information. However, it can be useful to skim through things when you don't really want to read them, or when you just need to find one particular piece of information. For example, I read at speed when I'm checking a household bill or a letter from the bank. 2. Are there any jobs where people need to read a lot? What are they? Well, researchers obviously need to read a lot, and I suppose that politicians, journalists, and other professionals who need to know about current affairs read a lot too. Having said that, I think most workers read hundreds of emails every week. In my previous job, for example, I had to check internal staff emails at least twice a day. 3. Do you think that reading novels is more interesting than reading factual books? Why is that? Both types of book can be equally interesting in my opinion. A good novel can transport you to another world where the characters in the book become almost real. On the other hand, factual books can give you fascinating insights into anything from psychology to ancient history. Speaking Part 3 Accommodation. 1. Do you think it's better to rent or to buy a place to live in? I think it's better to buy your own home if you can afford to do that. Buying your own home is a better investment in the long term because you can sell the home and perhaps even make a profit on it. The alternative is to pay rent to a landlord who can ask you to leave at any moment. 2. Do you agree that there is a right age for young adults to stop living with their parents? I'm not sure what the right age would be, but I do agree with the principle that young adults should try to live alone if they can. For some people, the right age is when they get their first full-time jobs and can afford to pay rent, and for others it's when they start university and move into a hall of residence with other students. This was what happened in my case. I moved out of the family home at age 18 when I started university. 3. How do you think the design of homes will change in the future? I don't think there will be much change in terms of what houses look like from the outside. In this country, people still like traditional brick or stone houses. Having said that, the design of apartment blocks will probably continue to develop, with more and more experimental or futuristic buildings made of glass and metal. I imagine that it will be the insides of homes that change the most. Houses will no doubt be full of technological devices to make our lives easier. Maybe we'll have things like voice controlled doors, lights, and appliances.